most experienced person in the Silbury sphere. And I come here in 7th grade, they come here in 9th grade. I actually only joined you last year. I found out I was coming to Silbury a week before school started. My mom came up to me because I just finished a wilderness program out in Colorado. And she was like, guess what, you're going to boarding school. I was like, I had 2 options of schools. It was Silbury or a smaller school. So I came to Silbury, and I talked to that for a really long time. And then I saw she had a picture of a horse on her wall, and that changed everything. And as soon as we started talking about horses and not about school, I decided I'd come here and not bother looking at the other school, because I didn't feel like I'd either come for another 6 hours. So I came to Silbury, and then coming from a public school where I didn't matter and I could fly under the radar, I figured I'd do that here. Well, guess what? It doesn't really work. The classes are like 8, 12, lucky 16. And we have one teacher, so they see you. So when I came to Silbury, the whole educational experience I ever had changed. I was once, so there's no really back of the room, so I couldn't sit in the back of the room, right? And I couldn't sit in the middle of the room because there's not a middle either, because all the desks are in a circle. I got to join the discussion, and as someone who thought they liked education when they were younger and then went to high school, where you would raise your hands for the longest time and no one would call on you, it was different. And people actually wanted to hear what I had to say, which I think revolutionized the way I thought about my education and what I wanted to do in my life. I could probably thank every teacher in this room some way or another, even if I never sat in a class or sat in an activity with them. But there's a couple people in particular I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank my advisor. I'm not sure if she's here. Anyway, she'll hear about this later, I bet. She always finds out things. But I'd like to thank Sean because, I don't know, she came to be my advisor because we shared like a similar background, because her dad died when she was younger as well, so that was like our meeting point. Because I needed someone to talk about that, but then she ended up becoming like my second mother to her mother ducklings. So she helped me like figure out everything about Silbury and like living in the dorm, because I'm not used to sharing the washroom with 30 other people. That's quite a challenge at first to get in there. But she helped me figure out my schedules, brave what I thought were academic crises. But I ended up managing out those two. I'd also like to thank the Prezes, well, the whole Prez family, because they ended up virtually adopting me. Because I went to Jen, I went to Britta, I was like, Britta, I want to learn more math. She's like, I want to learn more math. I think I can help you. So then she went to Jen, and then took me to Judge Prez. And then Judge Prez taught me lots of math, so I went on to the next level of math. But it wasn't over there. So then, I got to physics class, and something just wasn't clicking with it. But I knew I wanted to learn it, so I went to Jen, I was like, Jen, what do I do? I got an idea. You wait to hear this. So she went to her husband, who's an engineer. He's like, Dan's gonna teach you. He's like, oh. How's that gonna work? I'm like, wow. Is that at school? So I ended up starting with Dan, and that was 1 or 2 days a week for long blocks of time. And then he put me on Khan Academy, which is a very interesting way of learning things through videos. But it ended up working, and that's going pretty smoothly. But if it wasn't for Jen, I wouldn't have got to physics, and then I wouldn't be able to pursue the things I ended up wanting to pursue through those experiences. And then Jen became my second advisor, because having an advisor in the performing and arts it's hard to get advice when you want to go into math and science, because she wants to give me art schools, liberal arts schools. And I'm like, well, I want a research university. And I want to go into math and science, and I want more math and science classes. But they're like, well, you just take English. And art. I was like, but why? And I just can't go to Abigail thing? I really like it there. So Jen helped me figure that out, and then it got to the college crisis, where I couldn't figure out where I wanted to apply. And then I had a list of 30 schools, so she helped me narrow them down one by one, figuring out that this wasn't going to be a good place. So then I ended up doing that, and I got into all the schools I applied to, which was... sessions without Jen, because a lot of those schools are her idea and I wouldn't have worked at them without her. I also like to thank Dave for helping me weather his AP calculus storm, because it's been an adventure, man. It's had some couple of really low points, but there's sometimes where it's just smooth sailing. And then, I'd like to thank everyone here, but that would take all night. But the last person I'd like to thank is Tom, Big Tom. By the way, it calls me Young Tess, and I don't know why. Like he's a wise old soul. I'd like to thank Tom, because last year I was playing basketball and it wasn't really working because I'm not very good at basketball. So I was like, Tom, I have major luma. I cannot do this for another couple months, man. So Tom, being the creative soul that he is, decided he would go talk to his neighbors. So he went to go talk to his neighbors who have this farm. And I'm like, oh, I like farms. So I go over there, I'm like, we have 11 dogs. I'm like, oh, 11 dogs? Can I move in? And then they have sheep and horse and fish. And then they got me a cat. So it's just smooth sailing over there. So you hook me up these people, but the people I ended up meeting there ended up changing my entire life. They let me into their life and I lived with them all summer, and they gave me charge of their dogs and their horses, and they revolutionized the way I thought about caring for animals because they do it so differently. They helped me discover what I wanted to do when I was older, and they're really great mentors for when I'm having a bad day, because they're the most positive people I've probably ever met. And without Tom, I probably would have never met them, and I wouldn't get where I had to go because Tom is my ultimate schedule timer. So, to that, I'd like to toast to everyone I spoke about.